Hey everyone, Nick Engvall here. Before we get into today's episode, I want to tell you about some of the people that make the sneaker history community and this podcast possible. It's more important than ever to think about who you give your money to when you're buying clothing to go with your kicks. Our friends at Guilty Goods started their brand with a goal of giving back, especially to the communities that make sneaker culture possible. With every purchase from Guilty Goods, at least 10% of the proceeds are donated to organizations like Big Brothers and Big Sisters, the Susan G. Komen Foundation, the Movement for Black Lives, and many more. You can save 30% on your order by using the code HISTORY at guiltygoods.us. Again, that's history at guiltygoods.us for 30% off, and you can feel good about your purchase knowing you're supporting a meaningful cause. Sneakers are all about presentation, and if you're like me, displaying your kicks at home or in the office is just as important as when they're on your feet. Sneaker Throne makes sneaker display cases featuring customizable LED lights, drop side cases to showcase the entire side of the shoe, not just the heel or the toe, the whole shoe. They've also got display cases for trading card collectors and hat collectors. To me, it's the perfect way to display your collection. You can save at least 10% on your Sneaker Throne order by using the code HISTORY at sneakerthrone.com. That's history at sneakerthrone.com. If you're a Patreon supporter or a member of our Discord community, you already know about Kicks with V hot sauce and his small batch, locally sourced hot sauce. V has been one of the biggest supporters of sneaker history and the podcast since the early days. He's currently the defending champion in our community trivia nights competition. Kicks with V hot sauce has been a huge hit with the community. You can save 10% on your order by using the code SneakerHistory10 at kickswithvhots.com. That's SneakerHistory10 at kickswithvhots.com. Now, you're probably here because you like sneakers, and if you join the Discord, you know our community is about so much more than that. Whether it's the marathon-like community calls, trivia night debates, the in-person meetups, or just sharing our favorite experiences, we found that although we have such different backgrounds, we all have some unexpected shared passions. Not only does the entire community look out for each other when it comes to releases, we're like a support group for life in general. You can join the Discord community for free by heading to the show notes of this episode. After you're done listening to this episode, tell someone you like their kicks today. You never know how far a simple compliment can take you, and we all know how good it feels to have someone show their appreciation. Now let's get into today's episode.
Jordan trying to shake off Starks. Oh, what a LeBron James with no regard for human life. 12 seconds. Bryant for the win.
Iverson against Gill, the crowd on its feet. Allen for the win.
Welcome to the Sneaker History Podcast.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Sneaker History Podcast. Of course, my name is Mike, and we have our special guest with us who's not really, new to the show. We got Jay, also known as Shanghai Sole. Welcome back, my man. How you doing?
What's up? Thanks for having me back on. I know we've been trying to connect for a minute, but I got COVID and, crazy schedule with teaching and opposite sides of the world. So I'm glad you can make the time for me.
Yeah, man. Well, I'm glad you're doing all right. And you're on what, break right now?
Yeah, I'm on Chinese New Year break. I'll be back at work on next Tuesday.
Nice. So do you guys get off for Christmas and get off for Chinese New Year? Or is it just nice, dude? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, shoot, man. I mean, kind of right into it. We're going to talk about some of those sneakers dropping over there in a little while. But anything you pick up lately? I mean, any of those Chinese New Year sneakers that I don't know if they've even dropped there yet.
Oh, yeah, they dropped. But, those rabbit lows are super hard to cop. They're, 5,000 pairs? I don't understand the logic behind that. I mean, we can talk about that a little bit later. I picked up the Jordan 2s, Chicago's.
Nice. Still need those.
They're going for under retail here.
Really? Like little sale stickers in store?
No, like our resell, like our version of StockX is selling them for under retail. Like there's people. I would say most of the 2s actually have gone under retail. Like even the bigger Jordan store had on shelf Ama Minier 2s.
Still?
Probably not anymore, but at the time.
Oh, okay.
But like all the other collabs, all the other Jordan 2 collabs were on shelf.
I can see that.
Balvin's were the Chateau ones were all the lows. Like those were all. I would say that's probably the same in the States, though, right? What do you think?
Yeah, you know what? I think it's getting pretty similar. I know some we're going to talk about, but when we're talking directly about 2s, the Balvins. that was more of a. I think there's a lot more probably more Balvin fans in the States, so they sold out to a degree, but they were going for under retail and resale markets. I think my Union 2s I picked up well under retail from Goat. So I think the only one that's holding value right now is the Alma Manier 2s, just namesake. And then from what I've seen now, I think the OG Chicago 2s are still holding about retail from what I've seen so far. But I think you can still, if you look hard enough, I think you can still find them physically in a store somewhere.
Yeah. So I picked up those. I picked up the Vomero 5s in I picked up what I think is the best colorway. It's the women's one, that yellow.
Oatmeal?
Yeah, the oatmeal one. This one right here.
Yeah, that's the one I wanted, man.
Yeah, so I picked those up. Those are super clean. I haven't had a chance to wear them yet though, but I will. And then
nice.
Maybe we can talk about this a little bit later, but like the got some colorways of that sneaker, the basketball sneaker company Serious Player Only. I know you guys probably. I
was going to ask you about that.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that in a little bit, but they hooked me up with some of their new pairs, new colors. So.
And they're based out of China, right?
Yeah, they're based out of China.
Okay, I thought so. That's dope, man. That's dope. Well, shoot, myself, I got a couple things floating around. One that's probably closest to me I wear the most is going to be this Adidas Supernova, their Cosmic Pack. Dude, this one's actually super slept on, super underrated. It's comfortable. Everyone's going back to that 2000 runners like the Vomero. Everybody's trying to feel like they try to beat New Balance at their own game kind of deal. Picked up the Ugly Duckling ceramic or honeydew, whatever colorway you want to call it. Super nice. Only thing I wish about that shoe is that the toe box was a black woven mesh like a normal Air Max is. Yeah. It's full suede. I am pretty sure that when it gets...
Crease is funny?
Say it again?
The crease is funny?
You know, it's not about the creasing. It's the heat. I live in Texas, man. When it gets out of this time frame, it is going to be warm, and I wonder how it's going to hold up, or it's just going to be a fall-winter shoe, you know? Just pure suede, no air holes punching that sucker. It's nice. Like, it is a beautiful shoe. Nice material. Is actually one of the few I can't complain about quality control from Nike. No glue stains or anything like that. But I tell you, it is a warm sneaker.
Yeah.
There we go. That's better. Yeah, but man, not too much else. I mean, I think I may have I just have to wait and see. The Diadora, their basket, they came out with the X-Men collab. I'm a huge comic book fan. I may have a pair of those on the way, but got to see which if they show up and which pair. But other than that, man, not too much. It's been honestly dry in a sense of new releases. I've been honestly on this kind of like this look back, trying to see if I can catch things from the retail like we're talking about the 2s, because there's nothing that's new that's really caught my interest besides the Vomero and some ASICS stuff that's been hanging out Saucony as well, but nothing from Nike or Jordan brand has really been like, I gotta go get this, because their first release of the year with Jordan 1 is the True Blue. Really weak in my opinion. I don't know. I mean, you're probably seeing the same thing.
Yeah, I didn't like those too much. I posted some photos of the black white 85s.
I want that one.
Yeah, I mean they're nice. I mean, I don't have them in hand, but I've seen them, and it's weird because I have that pair from Vibe.
Yeah,
Vibe Remake Lab, and I had him. He made me that custom, and we'll talk about that later. He made me that custom like almost a year ago. Like, I'm just kind of like, oh man, like I was dying for this pair to come out, but now that I have that pair, I'm like, like it's not, it doesn't really do it for me. I don't know, man. It's kind of weird. Yeah. It's like, even though it's not the same thing, but in my opinion, it's better.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, it's like higher quality, and it's not mass produced, and it was like, for me. That means more to me than picking it up from like a retail site,
Yeah, and I don't know if you're familiar with his name's Nicholas Avery. He's the Hey Man out in California. I think he's also in New York as well. He does customs, and we were talking about that in an interview I did with him. And I feel like with so much of the same thing just coming out over and over again, that whether it be customs, those bespoke sneakers we're going to get into in a little bit, I feel like they're almost more valuable to a individual, a collector, because it's not the same run of the mill that you're getting. You're actually getting your money's worth. Seems like I know that those sneakers run a pretty penny because they're built for you, like made to order, but someone's taking their time to build out materials worth those dollars, worth that time, as opposed to, I know the 85s have good materials, but how good is it compared to what you got from Vibe Remake Lab? You know, It's like comparing. I'd rather have the remake where I know it's, you know what, this is handmade, this is built from scratch, it's going to last me, it is worth the time and money. And you put 2 and 2 next to each other. I've seen you. I saw your sneakers, and I'm looking at the 85 highs. Although I would love to have that 85 high, I would much rather have the bespoke model because it's for me. I'm not wearing it to be a spokesperson for a brand. And if they sent it to me, cool. But if I'm buying it for myself, I want it to be quality. I want it to be something I can be, in lack of better words, proud to wear, as opposed to, oh, look, here's another Panda Dunk or, Panda. They're going to call this thing a Panda. Jordan 1 is going to ruin it for everybody.
I made that mistake too. People are like, it's not Panda. I was like, my bad. I'm just saying Panda color.
I'm so sorry. I want to start calling it the Orcas. We're just going to change it. We're going to change it from Pandas to Orcas and see if that sticks with anybody. Yeah. No, but I mean, really, that's the first thing I want to dig into was kind of the bespoke sneakers and really how it's changing the game, because I see a lot of people out there from, high profile accounts. When I say that, I mean like, even I guess retail accounts like Rejuvenator. Those guys are out there rebuilding 85s from scratch. You got people out there like, I think his name Chef Huel.
Yeah. His stuff is fire, dude. His stuff is.
It's insane. And then Vibe Remake Lab, I mean, they're coming from scratch. I mean, they have the proper tooling. I'm sure they use donor soles and things like that. But they're coming up and say, all right, cool. You guys want this. We're going to give you that. It looks like, I guess, quality-wise, if you put that up into your best quality Jordan 1 that you have, what is it? Do you feel a difference? When you put it on foot, is it a difference than what you get from a mass-produced Jordan 1?
It's okay. So like the Vibe pairs that I have, like the leather is like super thick, right? So like when you're talking about quality, I know everyone like wants to talk about like supple, like leather. It's not the same. Backboard. It's not the same. You know what I mean? Like it's exactly so not the same. It's kind of like when people were comparing the 85 cuts to shatters, they're like, man, this leather sucks. And I'm like, no, it's like, I mean, it's like thick, like Canadian bacon thick, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like the first time you put it on, you're like, oh my God, these things are not comfortable. But then that's what like the real quality is, right? It's like they're not using these thin strips of leather. It's like these real thick cuts. So it takes a long time to break in. And when it breaks in, it looks totally different from like a thinner Jordan 1 model. Yeah. The bespoke game is getting pretty big out here. There's this one IG account, you should check him out. He's called Louise, LOUISE _YUANG. Okay. And he does crazy bespoke stuff.
Trying to look him up. Is it becoming more popular out there where you are?
Yeah, it's becoming a lot more popular, but I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Because what Chef does is a bespoke. What Shoe Surgeon does is a bespoke. Do you consider what Mosh does a bespoke, or is he just a customizer? Or what's the difference between a customizer and a bespoke? Because like Vibe, is that bespoke, or is that, you know what I mean? Like it's almost like different categories. Like
it's a lot of gray area there.
Mosh is one category because he's a customizer, but he could do bespoke stuff. I don't think he's like really like famous for it, but
his shoe, the Mosh Runner, is a bespoke sneaker, wouldn't you say?
True. But then I'm saying like how he got his fame, like claim to fame.
Oh, customizing for sure, I would say. So I would call Mosh a customizer, because from my understanding, he's still, and I could be wrong, so anyone please correct me if I am, but from my understanding, he's not really taking a sneaker and rebuilding it with different materials. Correct. Yeah, it's same materials he's taking apart and putting different things on it to customize to be different, painting, dyeing. But his shoe, of course, the Runner, is a bespoke. Shoe Surgeon is, I would say, bespoke because he's gutting these things and you're getting something completely different from it. Yeah. But then he also does do customizations. So I know anybody with the cleats. So something I learned about the cleat customization, you can't take a cleat apart. You have to do almost like, you wrap a car. All those things are like car wraps on those and sewn in right on the edge of the cleat plate, because if you take it apart, it destroys the integrity of it. But anything that is like the Jordan 1, Jordan 3, you name it, Dunk, I feel like if it's been gutted, materials replaced, and turned into something different, I feel that's bespoke. Painting, sewing on, patching on, customization. And again, I'm sure there's still some blur in the lines between each of those.
Right. So then Vibe probably is not a bespoke person, right? He's more like a shoe builder.
A cobbler? I guess we'll call him a cobbler.
Yeah. Right? Because he's not really changing up anything. He's just using his own mold to...
Yeah.
But I mean, to answer the original question, bespoke is getting big out here. That Lewis guy, he actually hit me up. And if you look at some of his designs, they're real crazy. Like he does all sorts of, takes it apart, replaces the swoosh with he's even done one with leather. It almost looks like wood carving, but it's into the leather. So he's carved pieces of the leather. Yeah, so they look.
That's dope.
Let me see if I can find some pics. But then he hit me up and he's like, hey, I would love to collab with you and let's see if we can design something. And I was like, dude, yeah, that'd be totally dope. So something like that.
Yo, that's just a beautiful looking sneaker.
Right. So he's replaced the whole swoosh. He's replaced the whole swoosh.
Is it satin?
No, it's it's leather. The inside is horsehair though. The white mid panel is horsehair.
Yeah. Dude, that's nice. It's
so he's done. So that stuff is getting big. Let me show you some other things he's done. He had this one pair that he did a while back ago that I was like, yo, that's insane. I mean, the thing for me though is that you have to be able to do it right. Otherwise, it looks otherwise you'll have stuff that looks like fakes from 10 years ago, where it's SpongeBob Air Force Ones, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly where you're going with that. Stuff from the barbershop, man.
Yeah. I'm not. So I don't know. When he asked me, he's like, "Hey, do you want to work together on something?" I'm like, "Dude, it's so." Because it's just like what Greg says on the Sneak Disc. He's like, "How come every time I Nike ID something, it comes out looking whack?" Right? He's like,
"Yeah, right."
He's like, "It doesn't look the way that." Every time I buy an Air Max 1, I'm like, dude, I could have done a better job than that. And when you start putting the colors together, you're like, this looks so cheap.
This is trash, man.
So, for example, he did this pair.
Oh, is that what you're talking about? Even carving out of the...
Yeah, so he carved out pieces of the leather panels.
That's just art right there. It's one of those things, I look at them, do I want to wear that or just put it on my mantle and look at it all day?
Yeah, so, it's crazy, though. Look at that. That's crazy.
That's insane. See, this is who I feel like Nike should be tapping on his shoulder. Jordan Brand should be tapping on his shoulder for these collaborations. Mind you, although I don't own any of the Travis Scott stuff, I can respect it for what it is. And, say, J Balvin's, things like that. I respect it for what it is. But if you want to make some kind of impact, when All-Star weekends come around or these holidays like Chinese New Year come around, we need to be tapping people like Lewis here or Vibe Remake Labs, because they're taking the time and creating literal pieces of art, things that are different, as opposed to, all right, let's slap a backward swoosh on it and call it a day. You know what I mean? These guys clearly have proven their worth. I think they should get a shot with the brands, because all Nike does, which I wanted to also bring up, is that are these considered bootlegs? They're not putting they're not saying they're Jordans. They're saying they're building them, based off a shoe they love. They're one off. They're not selling in bulk. would these be considered bootlegs, or do we still leave them in a bespoke category, or are they both? I mean, there's no clear answer, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends. Like Vibe, for example, would probably catch some strays from Nike because he's not changing anything except for the shape, right?
Yeah.
And even he said, he's like, this is not a copy because Jordan Brand has never made an 85 like this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like, this is my interpretation. This is what I would want an 85 cut to look like. So it's not a mold that he's taken from Nike or Jordan Brand. It's like, this used to be the 85, but we've kept it in the vault. We're not giving it to customers. Like, this is his own mold. And he's like, I would want it to be this high. I want the back to be this straight. I want the toe box to look like this. So, I mean, but he would probably catch some heat. Whereas I think Lewis here is like, that's just, these are like one of ones, you know, and like how much can you really go after someone who's making a one of one? He's not mass producing it. He's being contracted, you know what I mean, by like an individual like yourself or myself that reaches out to him and says, hey, this is the idea I have. Can you do this?
Yeah, and I think that's what saves a lot of them, because even with Vi Remake Lab, you have to contact them to make the shoe. They're not just on a website, right? I can't just go buy black, white 85. So I think that's the saving grace to them, because a lot of those other people that were getting in trouble were, hey, pre-order this, you know, Pigeon Dunk lookalike. We'll have 500 of them or whatever. That's where they got in trouble, because they mass produced, or what their version of mass producing was. But I think these one-offs, let's say contract work, is what keeps them out of trouble, I guess. Lack of a better word, be trouble.
I agree with that.
But I'm just saying, I'm just like, man, if these guys can do this kind of work,
you know
put
what?
them on payroll, man.
I think the reason why this part of the sneaker game is starting to take off now is because there's a couple of factors, and I haven't really thought about it until you asked me. One, people are, I think, tired of even exclusive stuff. Everyone has it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
exactly what you mean.
I want to. I mean, people are only going after this stuff and willing to spend the money because they want to be flexing, right? Like, like they want to be like, oh, I got the Travises, I got the all black Travises, I got the CNY Rabbits, only 5,000 pairs. I'm one of 5,000 that has them. Yeah. But like, if you go out and everyone's a sneakerhead now. I mean, when you go to a party, you're not the only person wearing Travises, guaranteed. Like, you go to SneakerCon, dude, you look like everyone else, right? Like, everyone's
lobsters everywhere.
Everyone's wearing Salehis. Everyone's wearing Joe Freshgood New Balances. Everyone's wearing Teddy Santis stuff. You know what I mean? Like, you look.
It's not special, really.
We all look the same, even though when we buy it, we feel special, right? Yeah. When you get one of ones, it's like, yo, now you're onto something different. Now I'm able to still get that feeling now and still really stun, right? I feel like people need to take it up a notch a little bit now.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, man. I think that's probably why I haven't. Oh, go ahead.
And then number two is people are already spending crazy money on resale. Like, if you're paying $400 for neutral grays, 85s, right? 85. If you're spending $450 on neutral gray 85 highs, why wouldn't I spend $500 on a self-made one of one? Right? So it's like, I think that people are more open to it now, because before, if you had to do it, if I was paying $250 or $150 or $200 for a pair of shoes and I had to pay like $600, I'd be like, nah, that's triple the price. I'm not doing it. Yeah. But if a lot of people, I mean, like Greg, he's like, oh, I went on StockX and I saw a pair was like $350. Yeah, I can do $350. Like, our mentality has changed so much, man. I remember when I bought the first pair of Shattered Bad Boys I bought them used off eBay, and I spent $360 on them, and I felt sick. Like, you don't understand. Like, I felt like I was like, oh my God, what did I just do? You know what I mean?
Oh, I know.
Like, I was like, I can't tell anyone I spent $350 on shoes. Like, I'm gonna get laughed at. Like, someone's gonna like lose their cool. They'll be like, what? You spent
what have you done here?
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, times change, right? Like,
times have changed. Retail has changed.
I'm not saying like $350 is chump change. Like, I still wouldn't want to spend $350 on a pair of shoes, but the fact that we're going on there onto these resale sites and we're like, it's under $5? Oh, that's cheaper than I expected.
That's a shame. But it's crazy though, because I think I still can't make myself pay over $300 for anything, and that's still a very rare occurrence. I'm going to pay $300.
Mm-hmm.
It's just crazy to me, and the fact that retail's creeping up there, like those the J Balvin 2s were $300, and now you can get them for like $190, $200 on these resale sites.
Yep.
So I'm like, if I just wait. At this point, I know it's a very cyclical thing. We're going to get to a point where everything's expensive again. But right now, I'm living my best sneaker life because I'm getting stuff for dirt cheap. But I'm right there with you. If someone's willing to spend $500, $600, $1,000, especially on a Jordan 1, you know what? Let me cut that in half. Just someone make me a shattered backboard colorway and a better leather for $500 as opposed to me spending $1,000 on something. I'm going to still question if it's real or fake because that's still a thing. You have to, like, when you buy this, you're like, crap, did StockX just get me? Or, you know, fill in the blank when I know, okay, I'm going to spend $500 on this one of one. I know this guy is making it from scratch. I mean, there's a lot of pros for the bespoke route. And I mean, there's still pros for getting it from, you know, Nike and Jordan brand or, you know, fill in the blank. But there's a lot of pros from getting it, too, from a bespoke because you get exactly what you want, materials you want, and you're paying for. You're not going to be surprised like, oh, I got it. Oh, this sucks. Because
right.
buyer's regret, buyer's remorse, whatever you want to call it, is real.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's my 2 cents on the whole bespoke thing. It's getting bigger out here. There's a lot more customizers. And it's, I think people are more open to spending that money for something special.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, it's right there. It's just the feeling of people wanting to get back to. I mean, I don't want to sound like the old man yell at clouds, but it's kind of what they want. You know, sneakers how it was because it was, you know, special to get certain things. Like you said, now everyone's. I love for people to get everything they want. It's cool. I can respect that because I mean, if it's possible, you have the money for it, go get it. Go live your life. But at the same time, I like to be an individual. I think you're the same way, Jay. That's why I've started moving away from the same shoes over and over. I've been really living into different brands, diving into a lot of their catalogs that have found some nice things that when I walk down the street, I don't see anybody wearing them, which makes me feel happy. Man, I get the most, likes on Instagram or that, but I feel good wearing this particular shoe because I know that I'm not going to go in a room and be like the whole Spider-Man meme of everyone got the same shoe. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of what it is. And it's like, it's not a knock to people like the mass-produced shoes like the Panda Dunks. They're easy shoe to wear. Wear them, dude. I'm not mad at nobody for that, but I just don't want to be wearing them with you. That's kind of my deal. Right. So, like I said, that's my thoughts on bespoke. I think it's cool. I love that people are really tapping into their creativity. And, you know, kind of a weird jump, but I think it will fall into the same category. I want to go to serious players only because they're creating their own shoe. And they honestly, for this, call it smaller operation in the sense of, you know, the bigger brands, but they have taken at least social media by storm in the hoop world because I've seen literally nothing but amazing things about it. And of course, it doesn't hurt that the shoe looks like one of, you know, a fan favorite Kobe model. So I think they have a hit on their hands. And I mean, I'll let you talk more about it because you've seen them firsthand. I've only seen pictures so far.
Yeah. So like, I'm not I don't know how to explain my relationship with them. When I try to explain, let's just call them SPO because that's like their acronym. Like SPO, you either hate it or you are down with it. I don't know. It's like there's no.
Okay, time out. Did you know that we have an entire network of podcasts? That's right. It's called the Retrospect Podcast Network, and it includes a number of shows that you might like if you're enjoying this one. First up is for the F1 fans. Exhaust Notes is a Formula One podcast that's the perfect balance for the new fans joining the sport and the tried and true diehard F1 fans who've been there all along. New episodes of Exhaust Notes drop every Tuesday on all of your favorite podcast platforms and at exhaustnotes.fm. We've also got a show for the fitted hat collectors out there called Crown and Stitch. As a baseball fan, I've been obsessed with hats for as long as I can remember, and the number of people collecting now has gone through the roof. It reminds me of sneakers back in the day, and I absolutely love seeing creativity of the new releases. Every Wednesday, we drop a new episode of Crown and Stitch on all of your favorite podcast platforms and on YouTube at youtube.com/crownandstitch. If you follow me personally on social platforms at Nick Engvall, you probably already know I first dipped my toes in the podcast game back in 2015 with a show called Outside the Box. Originally hosted by my friends Brandon Edler and Jacques Slade, it eventually evolved into a show with Tiffany Beers, Jacques Slade, and myself, and then into an interview series with some amazingly creative guests. While the show has gone through a lot of changes throughout the years and is currently on hiatus, a lot of people have been enjoying past episodes recently, and I'm excited to say I have new episodes in the works for the new year. We'll be adding new podcasts to the Retrospect Network in the coming months as well. In fact, if you'd like to advertise on any of the shows, be a guest on any of the shows, or even talk to us about getting your own podcast started, reach out to us at podcast@sneakerhistory.com. And find out more about the podcast network at retrospectpodcast.com.
Middle ground, you know, because it's like, you either hate it because it's like, oh, it's a knockoff of Kobe's, or you're either in love with it because you're like, oh, these are a really good basketball shoe, and it's something that I can afford and I can get in my hand, and I don't have to like beg Nike to like produce, right? So it's like it's kind of like, Are you like a gatekeeper? You know what I mean? Like it's only like the gatekeepers are like, oh man, I cannot get down with this. Like looks like a Kobe 6, looks like a Kobe 8, looks like a Kobe 9. I'm not doing this.
Like, well, Nike not making them, so you better get them somewhere.
That's kind of like my route, right? Like I'm never the type to be like that, right? Like. Yeah. I don't like.
Nike not paying you. Like Nike not paying me.
Exactly. Like I don't like limited stuff. I'd rather it be on shelf. I'd rather everyone have the chance to buy it. And so, I'm all for what they're trying to do. And they were never like, oh, we're not trying to copy Kobe's. Like they're like, Kobe is our favorite basketball player, so we are inspired by Kobe Bryant. We are inspired by his shoes, and those are shoes that we grew up wearing, and those are shoes that we love, and we can't get them and we can't afford them. So we're going to make an ideal basketball shoe for what we want and what we think people want, and that's what they came up with. And like I'm not mad at that. You know what I mean? Like
not at all.
I'm okay with that. Sorry, sorry, my daughter just came back.
Oh, no worries. You probably heard mine yelling from her crib a second ago. It's just feel like she wanted to have a sing-along.
No. And then, so, hold on. I need to switch rooms now.
Nah, you're good, man.
And then, so, I'm going to hide in the closet room. Shoot, where was I? Oh yeah, so like they create this model, but then they've also done a lot of cool things with it in the sense that their shoe has insoles that you can swap out. And it's built for different players. Like they have a lightweight one, they have their standard, they have a heavy duty for bigger guards that want to wear low top shoes. It's all woven. It's nice, like materials. They're still working on the fit, and like they've asked me to do some like wear testing for them and stuff like that. So like I've given them my feedback because I'm slightly wide foot, and I was like, oh, it kind of pinches here, like.
Yeah.
But like the thing is that because they're small, they're able to take feedback and do immediate adjustments. You can't do that with any large company. Like 100% you're stuck, right? And so any feedback I've given them, they were like, okay, so we just redesigned this insole. Can you try it out? Like it's a new it's a new mold and stuff like that. And like, I just appreciate a company that is taking feedback, and not everyone's given positive feedback. Like I would say Nightwing's feedback for them was kind of on the not so good side. Right. And that's fair. Like that's fine. Everyone's
got to be open and honest with everybody.
You don't have to like kiss up and say, I love it just because they sent it to you for free and whatever.
For sure.
But you know, they gave legit feedback, and then they were like, okay, we thank you for your feedback, and we're going to go back and tweak some of the things that you said, and we're going to work on that. It's not just, well, that's a like, oh, well, like that relationship didn't work out the way we wanted it to. And so like, that's it. Right. Like they're probably going to tweak it and send him a new pair, be like, hey, how do you like this one? You know what I mean? Like,
but that's awesome though.
Like
I wish more companies can do that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's the way you would hope companies would react, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a perfect example of, talk about tweaking things, and just, it really is, that was an analogy to always give you the speedboat and then the big cruise liner, where speedboat can make an immediate adjustment where the cruise liner takes an hour to turn.
Right.
Think about the Kyrie Infinity situation where Kyrie's like, this is crap. This shoe's awful. Nike couldn't stop it and readjust anything. They're like, well, we're already here. So we got to get this shoe out there. But like, I love the fact that this company can be nimble right now at this point in time. And I didn't know that they made different insoles and different basically models for, I thought they only had one model right now. I didn't know they had different setups for different types of players, which that's cool. I mean, it reminds me back in the day of course.
Well, that's the thing, is that they only have one model right now, and that's coming up for this year is their like different insoles. And they have like, they have down the pipeline probably like 4 or 5 different fits that'll suit the way you play. And this is something that I'm releasing this information here first, is that I worked with them this year, and they actually hooked up my whole basketball team with a pair. And so we got them this like white and pink pair. I'm pretty sure you've seen that picture. But
so clean, man. I love that shoe.
Yeah, it's clean. And then we gave them to the kids, and the kids were like, yo, like these are sick. Like they're so light. They feel like Kobe's, and they were like, we can't get Kobe's anywhere. And it's like, thanks, coach. Like I was able to work out something with SPO, and they were kind enough to hook up our school team with fresh kicks for their tournament coming up.
That's dope, man. I love that. I mean, I know like you worked with some other brands in the past that had done some similar things, but the fact that this company is really, way smaller, and they were able to still hook your team up.
Way smaller. Like
that's awesome.
I was working with Converse before. Like, Converse is like one of the biggest sneaker companies, and then
exactly.
Small company is like, yeah. Like, we want to get our name out there. We want you guys to like wear our kicks and win your tournament. And, they might be even coming down, because they're in Beijing, their operations in Beijing.
Oh, okay.
But they're coming down to Shanghai to watch the games. Like they want to come and watch the games and be like, they want to see their shoes in action and stuff like that. And they want to like interview all the players and get their feedback. I'm like, dude, that's dope. Like,
that's really cool.
The kids will love it. You guys will get like a ton of feedback, because you got, 13 basketball players wearing it. They're going to give you all sorts of important information about feel, court feel, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like benefits both parties, I feel like.
Dude, that's awesome, because you have high schoolers, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, so those guys, I mean, they're playing hard. It's not like a middle school game where they're not playing it, but these guys are really playing ball. So that's good for not only the kids, but it's good for the company, because they get legit feedback. And I know looks like they have some professional players overseas and maybe G League rocking the shoes right now. So they're getting that pro feedback as well. So you're getting a shoe tailored for not only the, I won't call it the beginner level, but entry level basketball with high schoolers to professional level.
Yeah.
I feel like they're doing the right things, man. They're investing not only the materials, but they're investing the man hours and getting feedback, taking feedback. Like I say, from Chris, who, say, hey, I didn't like this and this, this, and this. They're like, all right, cool, let's fix it. Or like you said, it pinched here, let's go readjust. The only other company I know that has been able to adjust like that, I don't know if you have heard of them. They're a London-based company, not performance, it's a casual wear, but they're called No Two Ways. I work with them. I worked with them a couple times. They do more of a, like I say, more of a casual shoe. One shoe they did, they call it just the just whites, all white leather. This shoe, I think, retail for like 130 pounds, so like $150 here in the States, maybe. It used the same leather, and the guy, like the designer, actually broke it down, showed the leather samples, used the same quality of leather as a Jordan 1 Dior. So that real stiff, real like, and it's just like, and they're able to adjust they're able just to stack height of their midsole, all those things. They're able to change these things just on the go from feedback because of, smaller, but the ability and the willingness to listen. So that's just companies like that really have such a huge respect for them. Even if I never got my hands on a pair of SPO shoes, just the respect for what they're doing here in the stories and how they're, taking and trying to build better and not just selling a crap product just because they can. Because it looks like a Kobe, here, buy it. They're really putting in an investment. I like that.
Yeah. It's not. They're actually trying to do something big here. So. We'll see. I'll see what I can do about getting you a pair out there.
Oh man, take your time. Let you handle your team first and let them get your feedback. Now, if a stray comes this way, just tell them I'm your team, man. I washed the towels from Texas. I don't know how. I washed the towels from Texas. Oh man, but shoot, no, that's awesome. I love to hear stuff like that. That's just things we don't hear about too much. We always hear about the same things, and I love to hear stories like that. But I guess we'll go. One of the things I want to talk about are probably one of the bigger things was just kind of the state of sneakers. I know we live in vastly different places, and if no one has seen Jay on Instagram under Shanghai Sole, one of the things he has definitely gotten IG famous for has been his in-store shots of Jordans and Nikes and just popular things that we think are here sitting on shelves. But I think that the tide is. I don't want to say turn because things are still sitting there, but I think it's starting to level out because we're having that same kind of, I don't know what you want to call it, era in sneakers. We're going back to like 2013, 14, 15, where not everything's sitting on shelves, but if I want to walk in and go buy that Jordan 7 that just released, cool, I can go pick it up. If I want to go in and pick up, not a Jordan 4, because that's not happening because people are cracked out over Jordan 4s over here for some reason. But dunks are starting to sit now. It has become easier. Resale prices are tanking. I literally been buying my shoes off resale sites because it's like me going to the freaking outlet, dude. Mm-hmm. It's insane. It's like instead of me driving to the outlet, I go on GOAT. I'm like, ooh, I want that one. I want this. It's silly. And I laugh because now these companies are getting so strict on their return policies. They're like, well, you're stuck with it. We know you bought 1 million of them, so you either go sell it for less than what you got it for, or you're stuck with the shoe. So, like those Air Max 1s, the ugly duckling. I honestly expected it to be one of those Air Maxes that sold out and just wouldn't get my hands on it. I ended up buying a pair from Nike with gift cards, so no harm, no foul. But if I were not to have that access to those gift cards, the shoe's $115 in my size. After shipping fees, $140, which is $25 less than retail. Yeah. Before their shipping and taxes. Right. So it is a good time to be a legitimate sneaker collector, person who actually loves shoes, because unless it's like some high price, like Lost and Found or trophy room something, the prices are tanking, dude, and it's magnificent for people like you and me.
So like, it's so weird because why do you think that is? Because like it's crazy because I'm gonna be going to the States for the first time in like 3 years. Because like now that because restrictions are finally open. So like this summer I'll be stateside for the first time because I used to go back like once every year. Now it'll be the first 3 years. Like, what am I gonna expect seeing? Like, do people still go to mall? Like, I remember even 3 years ago when I went to the mall. Malls were dead, man. Like no one was buying shoes at Foot Locker. I still see photos of Foot Lockers and I'm like, this looks disgusting.
Oh, it's gross,
There's
dude.
nothing in here that I want. Like, it's gross. Like House of Hoops, gross. J23.
Well, House of Hoops doesn't exist anymore, really. It's literally, they got to close it down because there's nothing. Anything that Nike wants to sell that is a limited sneaker, they're going direct to consumer now, typically. Mm-hmm. So House of Hoops is pretty much, it's not the same allure like back in 2011, 2012 when they first started really popping up. It has lost all that luster. It is really a lot of just, I mean, if you're a basketball player, you need a hoop shoe. Great, you can go get your LeBron at House of Hoops or whatever. Right. Go get your KD. But it's not like it was like you walk in, oh, they got Weathermans. Oh, they got LeBron, China's like LeBron can't. It's not like that. I remember having a special feeling when I first moved to Houston, going into my first house of hoops in like 2011. I'm like, what is this? I came from a smaller town where they didn't have that. When I got there, I'm like, all these LeBron 9s, all these KD 4s. I'm like literally just, I don't know how I can spend my money fast enough. But now I'm like, ew. Like this is, there's nothing there, man. People don't go to the malls like that anymore.
Two questions. One is like, what is the shopping experience like in the States, and why do you think sneakers are slowing down right now?
Shopping experience. Don't go to a mall when you come back to the States if you're looking for just shoes. I mean, of course, it's always nice to just kind of scan the area because things like the Jordan 2s, I heard they're kind of sporadically sitting around. If you wanted a pair and you don't have them, it's always good to check the malls because the mall experience since COVID has lessened, like you said, even from when you came here that before COVID, because a lot of stores just didn't make it. And of course, Nike and a lot of the sneaker brands are just deciding to go more direct to consumer.
And everything's online now, right? Like you just
exactly. And I work from home. So I already didn't like the mall. Now I hate it even more because there's nothing in there for me to even go buy.
No,
so it's like a worthless trip.
Actually in a little bit, I'm meeting up with a buddy from my sneaker group, and we're just gonna go check out the stores because we just want to go see what's sitting. But then it's different because there's stuff sitting that isn't online. Like that's where it's different here.
That's the flip. So sometimes you'll walk into somewhere like, oh crap, they have that. So it is a crapshoot, but it's very low odds. It's not like, oh, it's a 50-50 shot. It is a very maybe 10% chance you'll walk in and say, oh, that's still sitting. They have my size. Cool. I would rather tell you if you come to the States, stick to your boutique shops, like your, you get social statuses, your undefeateds, things like that, because although they still have their hype because they are what they are. They're the boutique store. Everyone knows to go there. I feel like there's still more selection there. And I think I've even Greg and George and the guys over there just hearing that. I mean, we don't have undefeated here, and we don't have like a Manor and stuff like that. We have similar stores, but I think the store is still the same as if you go in, you just never know what's going to be there because the shipments are so weird that this shoe may have released. I know one store here, Active Athlete, they just got in their GS Lost and Founds.
Whoa.
Yeah. They just got, and they advertised on social media. They're like, hey, they're here. Exactly. So everything's still all convoluted with the shipping. So I think it's always cooler to go to those stores because you just never know what you're going to find at this point because they don't know what they're getting. They're like, oh, we thought we were getting it on this day, but turns out 3 months later, we just got, X, Y, Z shoe. But shopping experience is just weird. I think I buy everything online, honestly. I haven't bought a shoe in person. Can't tell you when. I'm sitting looking around and see what shoe maybe buy in person.
I haven't bought any shoes in person except for the Lost and Founds, but that was different.
That was an event.
I haven't bought a shoe in person in so long just because the same thing. It's like I can find it cheaper, I think.
Yeah, that's all I do. Yeah, there's nothing there. I'm really scanning my office right now. Yeah, nothing in here has been purchased in person in the last 3 years. Online, I mean, I'll sit there scanning Sneaker Politics, Oneness, because they have stuff just sitting. Those are my two best examples because I'll go on their website. They have, Refined Future 1906 New Balance is sitting before release day. Because they just get the stuff whenever, they just throw them on the websites unless it's a raffle. And it's way nicer. I can just, oh, cool. I go, boom, picked it up, and I get back to my work day. I didn't have to get out. I didn't drive the car, bring the kids out, bring the wife out. I literally clicked 2 buttons. I got what I needed and probably saved myself hours of just struggle trying to find it. But I think people are honestly just, because of the resale bubble, I think it burst because too many people want to get in the game.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like half my IG feed are individual resellers.
Yeah, dude. I had this company, I guess a bot company, reach out to me. That's like, they just assume every YouTube channel is a resale channel. They're like, oh, we see you have a resale channel. We wanted to start a sponsorship with you. I was like, well, my channel's not a resale channel. Not every YouTube channel's resale. Right. But it's just too many people, and then the money's drying up. So the free money people were getting from the government because of COVID reasons is dried up. Inflation hit, and so everything, normal items. I mean, dude, eggs are like $5 a
dude,
dozen.
I heard
here.
about the egg situation. That's nuts.
Dude, it's like drug dealing for between eggs, milk, and baby formula. It's like you got to run a drug ring to get this stuff, man. It is insane. So there's more important things out there as well. And with that, people are stuck with lots of shoes and they have to get rid of them. So they don't want to be, they'd rather lose the money and get something back as opposed to having these non-liquid assets. So why not sell it for, 70% of its true value as opposed to sitting on it, because you can't sit on a Air Max 1 for too long or anything that's not a Jordan 1 because of that foam midsole. You got to get rid of it because you can't say, oh, I'll hold it for 10 years.
I know.
So that's totally what I think the difference is.
So then, do you think people are getting tired of sneakers, or do you think it's just all money? Or do you think sneakers are just too expensive?
I think it's a combination of everything you just said. Yes, I think people are getting tired of it because there are some shoes out there, a lot of things I like, a lot of things I can live without. But retail prices, dude, when they're asking $180 to $200 for a Jordan 1, we know you're in a bad place. I'm like, I don't want to pay you $180 for a Jordan 1 with zero technology. And then you got things like people moving on to different things, I feel like. I think it's kind of a phase. I think that the vast majority of people are moving on to something different. It's like everything. It went from sport cards, shoes. I don't know what the next thing is going to be, but I think it's a kind of a fad for a lot of people, which is fine. Everyone just to dip in and enjoy it for a while and move on to the next thing if they feel like it. But I think the social media has been a big part of that because, like they say, TikTok made this shoe famous. There's a lot of shoes that, kids see their favorite TikTokers or IG personalities wearing it. They want to be a part of that community and they buy. But I think this kind of because those influencers aren't getting the sneakers pushed to them anymore, really. They're not going out buying them themselves or not getting seated anymore, seems like. Because seating has seemed like it's come down a lot. I feel like a lot of videos have transitioned, like the content has transitioned into buying and selling as opposed to unboxing because some influencers having to go buy their own stuff now and they don't want to go do that. So that's how you true there's not a real collector because they were doing it for the free shoe as opposed to, oh man, I really wanted that shoe.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's changed the dynamic of the kids who are being influenced by them. And then, like I said, there's just more important things, man. I think it's just groceries, gas. The things that people need to get kind of are overshadowing sneakers. And again, it's just one of those items. It's like, man, you have to pick which one's more important. And right now, with you and I just being like, man, okay, we like this shoe. It gives kind of me the solace knowing that I don't have to rush because I feel like I had to rush all the time. And then to the point I just gave up on releases. I'm like, I'm not buying this. I just find something else. But I can sit and wait now. And having that luxury again is so nice because I can wait for something to go on sale or I can just take my time. Maybe I want to save up for it as opposed to just breaking off, $250 right off the rip. I can sit and think about it for a while instead of making these impulsive decisions, which I think everyone has done. It's like, oh, God, I got to buy it. Then you get here like, crap. This is awful,
So that's the way it was for us. Oh, so man, and we've been talking about this for a long time. I said that the resellers out here have already moved on to bigger, more expensive things, watches, cars, clothes, whatever.
Yeah.
And then with the whole lockdown and restrictions and all of those things, like sneakers are not it in, at least in China. Sneakers are not the flex anymore. You know what I mean? It's the flex among sneakerheads, but it's not the flex among everyone else. You know what I mean?
And, I know exactly what you mean.
Whereas it's more so in the States because more people are aware to that.
Mm-hmm.
But in the general public, it's not the move anymore, and it hasn't been that way in a long time. And for me, because so many things sit, I don't feel the need to buy it when I see it in a store. right?
Exactly.
Like, I mean, from my feed, it's like, oh, Gorge Green Jordan 1s. Like, yeah, those are going to go for like half off. Like, ain't no rush for those at all.
Yeah.
And I'll get them on the resale site, and I'll have like a little, like, it's not StockX, but like a little reminder alert button that'll be like, lets me know every time a sale of that pair goes down.
Mm-hmm.
And every time there's a sale, yup, the price goes down like $30 every time there's a sale. I'm like, yo, what's the rush, right? Like, I feel like a chump if I bought it like for $50 under retail, because I know it's gonna drop more than that. Like, so it's just like I don't even mess with picking up things early, like I know it's still big to have like early looks and early releases, like first-hand looks. My social media has never been about that, because I'm never in a rush to get it first. There's no need for me to get it first, because I'm just going to get it cheaper, like 2-3 months.
That's how I am, man. I don't care about having it first. I would care about how much money did I save when I got it compared to you spending $1,000. I spent $100. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, like those Jordan 2s. I didn't pick up my pair until last week.
Dang.
Because I got them for $40 under retail. So it's like I don't need to. There's no need for me to go and try to get it early, or.
Oh yeah.
If I see it in store, the first thing I'm doing is adding an alert on my phone. That's the first thing that happens. It's not
check on this one.
It's never let me go buy it. It's always just, okay, let me keep an eye on this online.
So that's like those Union AJKO lows. Like, I've been no rush to buy those. I feel like those are going to drop. They're going to sell out. But I give it 6 weeks. I can go on StockX or go on GOAT. That's the one I typically use. And I'll be able to get them for retail or less. But
I like the leather pair a lot more.
Oh, Mike, they don't talk about that one, though. They keep talking about this canvas pair. Like, I don't want that. I don't know. I like white canvas. Dude, first of all, I have children. Second of all, I'm a child. When I eat sometimes, I'm just going to destroy this pair of shoes.
Dude, the white leather pair is actually, like, I like that one a lot.
It's super nice, but I don't know why they're not talking about that. I wonder if it's going to be just a Union release only. You know how they do. They always have one that they do only like a in-store release or at their store release only. So I'm really tempted. I mean, I'm really intrigued, I should say, in what this release looks like, because I think it's going to be something we can pick up. Oh, I think the dunks are still kind of high, just because of. I think something like, let me see. Special dunks are still crazy, man. That's the only, like, SB dunks are still probably the most consistent in high price. Why? I don't know, but they are. Let's see, Union. Here we go. Let's see. I think the most one, the Argon. Oh, actually. Oh, see, I shouldn't even saw this, man. I'm not gonna buy it because it's still too expensive. But my size in Argon dunk, the Union one's only $275.
Ooh.
Yeah, right. I'm like, well, put a little tag on that one since we're talking about tagging stuff.
That's not too bad. That's way, because I only say that because not that it's ugly, but it's like of the Union collabs, it's like one of the lesser desirable ones. You know what I mean? Like, people don't really talk about the Union dunks that much.
I agree. And I just looked at the AJKO. So the canvas pair, I mean, still early pairs, which is for a Union collaboration on a Jordan, decently cheap, still too expensive for my blood, but $330 for the white canvas. But that leather pair with the navy or black swoosh on it, whatever it is.
Yeah, navy swoosh.
It is $524. So I'm feeling like something's telling me that this one, either A, people are anticipating a smaller amount of this one, or it's going to be like I said, Union exclusive. But that was the same thing with the rattan Jordan 2. I think that was supposed to be the Union exclusive. I got that thing for what, $140?
Wow.
$130. Yeah, I was like, yeah, this is cool. I like them. No one else likes them, but people were buying them early for thousands of dollars, and I'm like, I literally spent 10 times less than you did.
Yeah.
Is wild to me, man. But like I say, the sneaker world's changing. People's priorities are changing. So I think we're going to hit another, let's say it's 2023 now. Let's call it 2025, 2026. We're going to be in the same boat of a year ago, a year and a half ago. We're like, well, guess we're not getting any shoes. It's literally just a cycle.
Yeah, I know it is. It is for sure.
So, yeah, man. But I don't know. I just, I know they're still trying to keep that allure alive, especially with things like we talked about in the intro with the Jordan 1, the Lunar New Year, 5,000 pairs. I think is kind of silly, especially because every YouTube channel I've seen so far, everyone has an early pair. I'm like, so how many pairs are there really? Because if everybody has one already, like, is there like 100 pairs out there for us to all fight after?
I mean, I don't know about in the past, but I don't think any of the CNY pairs ever made it stateside, like drop wise. I don't think I've ever seen. I don't know if I know you guys have gotten Chinese New Year Jordans before, but never the one lows, because those are the ones that are the most coveted. Because like you guys have always gotten the 11, right? Because we've always gotten the 11. There's always like the single day pairs. I don't even know if you guys get all of those either.
No, every so often we get those. We got the 12s though. Remember the CNY 12s, CNY 6s. Anything Jordan 1 related though, I cannot recall a time when we gotten the 1. We got the 5s, 5 lows.
For a while, they always did 11s, and then they do singles day for 13s. It's always the 13s for singles day. It's either 11 or 12s for Chinese New Year. And then lately they've been going to 1s, but they've only been making 5,000 to 8,000 pairs, and it drives me crazy.
I don't understand. It's like a satin bread.
What is the point of it though? Like, why are we doing this? Like, who is this for? Is this some sort of like inside storytelling at Jordan Brand, or like some joke at some higher up on Jordan Brand that's like 5,000 is my favorite number, right? Like what's the point? I don't know.
Yeah. Since we're not getting them, I wonder if it is going to be, because we talked about, I feel like in China that Jordan Brand is going to lose its allure. I mean, in a sense of people still buy it, but I feel like it's not in the vast quantities as it probably was in the past. So I wonder, since the Jordan 1 lows are typically an Asia exclusive, China exclusive, probably more specifically, one of those way kind of drum up a little bit of, a little bit of allure, a little bit of hype.
Yeah.
It's always man-made, man. You know how it goes. And 5,000 pairs and the biggest populated country in the world, they're like, let's see if we can just cause a little mayhem and get people to go buy some other Jordans while they're missing out on this 5,000 pair.
So like Sean Go is like one of my boys, and he's and I always love his content because he's pretty low key. He doesn't get like all hypey. I mean, he gets fire pairs, but he doesn't. Yeah. I left a comment on his YouTube, and I was like, 5,000 pairs, like that doesn't even cover a block in Shanghai. Like that doesn't make any sense.
One apartment complex. You're like, all right,
not even. It doesn't even cover an apartment complex. There's no way,
dude. I don't buy it though. I don't buy it because 5,000 pairs, they're getting out too easy, man. I mean, and again, I'm not trying to be the sneaker please here and saying, man, where they coming from? But dude, what was it? So Sean had a pair. I want to say, did Seth Fowler have a pair? Did he review one? Someone else reviewed? Like, there's a lot of people here in North America, I feel like, reviewing this shoe. I think, of course, Private Selection always gets something early. That's already, I'm just naming it like just people as I think of them who I've seen on YouTube who have this shoe. So I would like to believe either A, there's more of them than they're letting on, even though they've labeled them. I feel like there's still more of them floating around. Yeah. Or, like I said, there's going to be 100 of them people will be fighting for.
Yeah, so anyway, it is what it is. Like that's a fire pair. I wish I could have it, but I'm not too that's costing, it's about 2,500. That's about $500. $500 for a Jordan 1 low. And that's a little too rich for my blood.
Nope. That's, hey man, if you want a Year to Rabbit shoe, that's pretty dope. And it's not even meant to be Year to Rabbit, it just has a rabbit theme. The Saucony, maybe tomorrow, is probably one of the best themed shoes I've seen in a while, and it fits right in with this particular Lunar New Year.
So I'll show you. This is real quick before we hop off because I know you gotta go. This is the Vibe. This is the Vibe 85.
That's clean, bro.
Right here.
Okay. I know I'm not holding it, yellow, but it looks better.
The yellow laces comes with the aged midsole. I mean, you can just tell. Like, you can just see the leather. It's like it's like stiff. I mean, this thing is like it's real leather. Like it's like super straight in the back. You know what I mean?
Dude, that's clean, bro. Like I'm seriously pondering it. I was like, do I just want to fork over the cash? Because I don't want to have to fight for either a pair of Shadows or Royals. I'm thinking about just saying, bro, just make me a pair. Just make me a pair.
Yeah, hit me up, man. Hit me up because he will because I've done a lot of business with him, and I know a lot of people that have copped kicks with him. So he'll probably give me a friends and family code for you if you end up deciding.
Yeah, anything better than $500 is cool with me. But but I'm gonna wear them things to the ground. I tell you that much. Get every dollar worth. Yeah, buddy. But yeah, man, that's all. I mean, that's all I had really set aside for today. I wanted to catch up with you, man. I know it's been a little while. But I know, are you guys gonna do any like recording of the tournament and do some stuff, some posts with the SPOs and stuff?
Yeah, man. Like, so they're coming down. They're gonna, get some shots. Obviously, I'm trying to set up a way for them to actually do like sort of like a TED talk for the kids. Because it's like entrepreneur. You know what I mean? Like starting your own business. And sneakers, something that the kids are all into. So it's not just, I'm trying to set it up. I'm going to see if we can find a time, but it's not just for the team, but it's for all the kids in the tournament.
Yeah.
So that'd be something dope. That'd be something dope. Ooh. And because all the teams in the tournament are coming from China this year. So like, and SPO's homegrown too. So like, I'm hoping that we can make it work.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. Hey, SPO, if you're hearing this, remember, I'm Jay's towel manager. I clean the uniform, so I'm a part of the team. No, man, but hey, it's always, man, we talk all the time, but it's always a pleasure to get you on the podcast. Let them know where to find you. I know they know, but let them know again, just to make sure they're not sleeping on you here.
Yeah, Instagram at Shanghai Sole. I don't know, man, like, I don't get tired of posting shoe stuff, but I definitely don't feel the stress or the pressure of having to like constantly create content. And to be honest with you,
it's a thing.
Like bro, what you do, I could never do. Like, I don't know how you have the patience and the video editing and like all I do is like stick out my hand and take a photo. And like dude, anything over like 3 lines is like 2 lines more than what I want to write. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even write anything. I just want to be like, do you like them? Like, that's it. Like, but like, dude, you do the editing, you do like the reels, and you do like the ASMR stuff. I'm just like, dude, Mike, you are really, you're all in, and that's cool though, because like that's something that you want. Because I know we talked about it before. You were like, I'm gonna like really go for it and really do it, right? So it's like more power to you. Like you found something that you're super passionate about, and I can tell, man. It's like the videos are getting better. You can like tell the quality's getting better, and I guarantee you, like, and we can talk about this a little bit off air later, but like, Doe doesn't have someone in the States that does what you do. And I could see you being their, like, not reviewer, but you know what I mean? But like, kind of like, this is a drop, you know what I mean? Like, and they would like super appreciate that, I bet. And so like,
man, we'll talk about that. I appreciate that, off air,
but like, I think that there's a lane for that for you as well.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Already like just straight up, even like, just because I'm so impressed with the brand. Like, I even had to mention that, like, I'm not getting paid to do this. Like, I am purchasing these things. I will tell you, even before that day comes, I would still see myself purchasing more items, because that stuff is, I mean, everyone talks about kith this, kith that. I'm just saying, if Doe decides to have a presence, like a heavy presence here in the U.S., they can give Kith a good run for their money for the things they're putting out, the designs, the thoughtfulness behind their projects. I would rally behind Doe because, again, you know me, I like to be different. I like to try new things. I would rally behind Doe before I went and jumped on the Kith bandwagon, in all honesty. So, hey, if it works out, where a relationship can be built, I'm happy about that.
I'll tell him that for sure, man. I'll tell him that for sure. That's big time.
Yeah, brother. But, yeah, man. So, guys, thank you for listening. We appreciate everybody. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button on YouTube for our channel. Hit the subscribe button on Apple, Spotify, you name it, those streaming platforms. Look out for Sneaker History, guys. Until next time, guys. See ya.
Hey everyone, this is Nick again. Before you take off, do us a solid and head over to Apple Podcasts to leave us a review. Give us a rating on Spotify and Amazon Music, and make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel because we have even more video content coming soon. Speaking of new content, we have an amazing community of sneaker enthusiasts that hang out in our Sneaker History Discord on a daily basis. While sneakers is a connection point that brought us all together, we've all discovered countless shared passions that we have in common with each other. We recently launched a couple of new podcasts directly from our community. One of them is a Formula One podcast. If you're an F1 fan like me, the Exhaust Notes podcast is your weekly fix of Formula One fun. It's hosted by myself, Rohit Malhotra, and Todd Yates. New episodes drop every Tuesday. I've been wearing fitted hats for years and collecting my favorite teams since I was a little leaguer. It has been awesome to see so many new fans getting into fitteds in recent years. Crown and Stitch is our new talk show about fitted hats with Dexter, Keith, and myself, where we talk about fitted hats, snapbacks, throw in some obscure hats because we all kind of like some funky stuff once in a while, don't we? Copping, collecting, and so much more. New episodes drop every Wednesday. Hit the links in the show notes for this episode to give our new shows a listen, and be on the lookout for more new podcasts dropping soon. Last but not least, tell someone you like their kicks today. You never know how far a simple compliment can take you, and we all know how good it feels to have someone show their appreciation. Thank you all for the support, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Peace.